What if I told you 1963 wasn't just about the Beatles or Motown's rising stars? Tucked between the giants were songs that defined a moment, climbed the charts, and left us with memories that still echo decades later. Today, we're rewinding to 15 unforgettable hits from 1963. Some became lifelong favorites, others were flashes of brilliance that faded too soon. But each one tells a story about where we were, what we felt, and how music was changing forever. Stick around. This is 1963 like you've never heard it before. Number 1, It's My Party, Lesley Gore. It's the sound of teenage heartbreak bottled in 2.5 minutes. When 16-year-old Lesley Gore stepped to the microphone in 1963, no one expected a pop classic, but It's My Party changed everything.
She don't know that she's a lucky girl.
Produced by a young Quincy Jones at just one take, the song hit raw emotion with a tear-streaked delivery that felt real because it was. Behind the scenes, Gore almost didn't want to record it, thinking it too juvenile, but the label insisted. Good thing they did. The track soared straight to number 1 on both the Billboard Hot 100 and the R&B chart.
And Johnny just walked through the door like a queen with her king.
For Gore, it was the launch of a career that balanced teen idol sparkle with surprising depth. Songs like You Don't Own Me proved she had more to say, but this debut hit remains her most enduring. A birthday party gone wrong that somehow made the whole world sing along. Number 2, Be My Baby, The Ronettes. Few songs define the girl group era like this one. When the opening drum beat of Be My Baby crashed onto radios in 1963, it announced the Ronettes with a sound bigger than life itself. Fronted by Ronnie Bennett with her sister Estelle and cousin Nedra, the group brought a tougher, sultrier edge to pop. Beehive hair, heavy eyeliner, and voices that cut through Phil Spector's legendary wall of sound. That production turned the track into a soaring anthem, echoing with strings, horns, and harmonies that seemed to stretch to the heavens. The single climbed into the Billboard Top 10 and quickly became a cultural landmark, inspiring everyone from Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys to modern film directors who still slip it into soundtracks.
The night we met, I knew
For the Ronettes, it was lightning in a bottle. Decades later, those opening beats still send a shiver. Pure magic from 1963. Number 3, Louie Louie, The Kingsmen. It sounded messy, raw, and just a little dangerous, and that's exactly why it worked. In 1963, a scrappy garage band from Portland recorded Louie Louie in one take, with a single microphone dangling from the ceiling. The vocals slurred, the beat stumbled, and yet somehow it became one of the most iconic rock songs ever made. Singer Jack Ely's mumbled delivery sparked endless rumors. Parents swore the lyrics were obscene, and the FBI even launched a 31-month investigation trying to decode them. In truth, the song was innocent, a sailor lamenting to a bartender about missing his girl, but mystery gave it fuel. Despite the chaos, Louie Louie climbed to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. The Kingsmen never matched its success, but they didn't need to. This 3-chord anthem became a blueprint for garage rock. Imperfect, unstoppable, and unforgettable. Number 4, She Loves You, The Beatles. Before long hair, stadiums, and screaming fans defined Beatlemania, there was She Loves You. Recorded in the summer of 1963, this was the song that transformed the Beatles from a rising Liverpool act into a cultural earthquake.
It's you she's thinking of, and she told me what to say. She said,
With its bright "Yeah, yeah, yeah" chorus, it sounded playful and fresh, and yet the songwriting was sneakily clever. Instead of singing directly about love, Lennon and McCartney wrote from a friend's perspective, urging someone to give romance another try. That shift in viewpoint gave teenage pop a new depth.
she loves you, and you know you should be glad.
Released on a small U.S. label at first, Capitol Records almost passed on it. But when the wave of Beatlemania crashed, She Loves You raced up the charts, becoming their best-selling single in Britain and an early American hit. More than 60 years later, that three-word hook is still shorthand for the band that changed everything. Number 5. Rhythm of the Rain, The Cascades.
Telling me just what a fool I've been.
Some songs feel like they were written for rainy days. In 1963, the Cascades, a group of U.S. Navy servicemen turned harmony act, delivered Rhythm of the Rain, a heartbreak ballad that still drifts through the air like a storm cloud.
The only girl I care about is gone away.
Written by John Claude Gummo. After a breakup, the lyrics were simple but piercing. Love lost, tears falling, and a heart that couldn't move on. To set the mood, they layered in real rain and thunder effects, making it one of the first pop songs to use sound design as part of the story. Listeners connected instantly. The single rose to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and spent 2 weeks at number 1 on the Easy Listening chart. The Cascades never repeated the magic, but this one moment endures, a gentle reminder that sometimes sorrow sings just as beautifully as joy. Number 6. Blue Velvet, Bobby Vinton.
She wore blue velvet.
Few voices painted romance as smoothly as Bobby Vinton's. In 1963, he released Blue Velvet, a lush ballad that wrapped heartbreak in elegance and longing. With its sweeping strings and dreamy delivery, it felt less like a pop single and more like a cinematic love scene.
Arms of love I held tightly.
The song wasn't new. It had been recorded before, but Vinton's version struck gold. His velvet-like vocals gave the track a haunting quality, and audiences responded. Blue Velvet soared to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and stayed there for weeks, cementing Vinton's reputation as the Polish Prince of Pop. While rock and roll was beginning to dominate the charts, Blue Velvet proved there was still a place for tender, traditional ballads. Decades later, it remains Bobby Vinton's signature song, a timeless reminder of how music can make heartache sound beautiful. Number 7. Heatwave, Martha and the Vandellas. Motown in the early 60s was unstoppable, and few songs burned brighter than Martha and the Vandellas' Heatwave. Released in 1963, it was a fiery blend of gospel power and pop precision, with Martha Reeves' passionate vocals leading the charge. Written by the hit-making team of Holland Dozier Holland, the song turned love into a full-blown inferno, its rhythm driving like a heartbeat racing out of control. Backed by the legendary Funk Brothers, Heatwave leapt off the radio with an energy that demanded you move. The single climbed to number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 and topped the R&B chart for 4 straight weeks, becoming one of Motown's earliest smashes. For Martha and the Vandellas, it was just the beginning, but for listeners, Heatwave remains a soundtrack to youthful passion, the kind of song that still sets the dance floor ablaze decades later. Number 8. Wipeout, the Surfaris. Songs announce themselves like this one. A cracking sound, a maniacal laugh, and then that drum beat. Wipeout, recorded by a group of California teenagers in 1963, became one of the most recognizable surf rock instrumentals ever made. Led by drummer Ron Wilson's thunderous playing and Bob Berryhill's guitar riffs, the track captured the carefree energy of beach culture. It wasn't polished, but it didn't need to be. Wipeout was about fun, freedom, and the wild spirit of the surf scene. The single shot to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and sold over 1 million copies, cementing the Surfaris as unlikely stars. They never matched its success, but their debut lived on, popping up in movies, commercials, and beach parties for decades. Even today, just a few beats of that iconic drum solo can transport listeners straight back to the endless summer of 1963. Number 9. The End of the World, Skeeter Davis.
Why does the sun go on shining?
When heartbreak feels overwhelming, sometimes a song puts it into words better than we ever could. In 1963, Skeeter Davis did just that with The End of the World, a tender ballad that asked why life keeps going when love has fallen apart. Davis, a country singer with a voice full of ache and innocence, crossed genres with this track. It wasn't just a country hit. It reached the top 10 on the pop, country, R&B, and adult contemporary charts, a rare achievement that showed its universal appeal.
It's the end of the world.
Gentle arrangement, with its weeping strings and slow shuffle rhythm, made sadness sound strangely beautiful. Listeners connected deeply, and the song became an anthem for lost love. Though Skeeter Davis recorded many songs, this one became her signature, a timeless reminder that sometimes music's greatest gift is helping us mourn together when words alone aren't enough. Number 10, Surf City, Jan and Dean. California in the early 60s was all about cars, waves, and the endless promise of summer, and no song captured that spirit better than Surf City. Released in 1963, Jan and Dean's anthem promised 2 girls for every boy, a playful line that made teenagers dream of beaches, convertibles, and freedom. Co-written with Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, the track blended sunny harmonies with pounding surf rock energy. It became the first surf song to hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, opening the floodgates for a wave of West Coast anthems. For Jan Berry and Dean Torrance, it was the high point of their partnership, cementing them as pioneers of surf pop. Surf City still feels like a time capsule, 3 minutes of pure California fantasy, where the sun always shines and the weekend never ends. Number 11, Sukiyaki, Q Sakamoto. In the summer of 1963, a gentle Japanese ballad surprised the American charts. Sukiyaki, sung by Q Sakamoto, didn't sound like anything else on the radio. Soft, wistful, and sung entirely in Japanese. Its real title translated to I Look Up As I Walk, a song about hiding tears while gazing at the sky. But U.S. promoters thought the name was too difficult, so they called it Sukiyaki, after the popular Japanese dish, a label that had nothing to do with the lyrics, but didn't stop its success. Against the odds, the song climbed all the way to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, selling millions worldwide. To this day, it remains the only Japanese-language track to ever top the U.S. charts. Q Sakamoto's tender voice carried across cultures and languages, proving that emotion in music speaks louder than words. Number 12, Walk Like a Man, The Four Seasons. Few groups defined early 60s pop quite like the Four Seasons, and in 1963 they scored another smash with Walk Like a Man. Powered by Frankie Valli's soaring falsetto, the song mixed street corner doo-wop roots with polished pop production, giving it a toughness that set it apart from sweeter love songs of the day. Written by Bob Crewe and Bob Gaudio, the lyrics were more than just catchy. They carried a message of resilience, urging young men to keep their heads up through heartbreak. Backed by stomping rhythms and tight harmonies, it struck the perfect balance of grit and grace. The single hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, making it the group's 3rd chart topper in just over a year. For the Four Seasons, Walk Like a Man wasn't just another hit. It was an anthem of determination, sung in unforgettable falsetto. Number 13, I Will Follow Him, Little Peggy March. In 1963, a 15-year-old girl delivered one of the year's biggest love songs. Peggy March, barely out of high school, topped the charts with I Will Follow Him, a sweeping ballad of devotion that became an instant classic. With her youthful voice soaring over dramatic strings and driving rhythms, the song carried a sincerity that only a teenager could deliver. Its lyrics promised unconditional loyalty, to follow a love anywhere, no matter the distance. For young listeners, it was pure romance. For adults, it was a reminder of first love's intensity.
Follow him wherever he may go.
The track shot to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, making March the youngest female artist ever to achieve that feat, a record she still holds. Though Peggy March never repeated that level of success in America, I Will Follow Him became her signature song, echoing across generations as a timeless pledge of love. Number 14, Puff the Magic Dragon, Peter, Paul, and Mary.
But the magic dragon is only about the
loss of innocence of children.
Not every hit in 1963 was about romance or heartbreak. Some touched on childhood, memory, and innocence, none more than Puff the Magic Dragon. Sung by folk trio Peter, Paul, and Mary, the gentle ballad told the bittersweet story of Jackie Paper and his dragon friend Puff, who faded as the boy grew up. With its lilting melody and tender harmonies, the song climbed to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became a staple of the folk revival. For children, it was a magical tale. For adults, it carried a quiet sadness about the loss of innocence.
Fall asleep before it was possible for them to hear it. So all that
Though rumors later swirled about hidden drug references, the group always insisted it was simply about growing up. Decades later, Puff the Magic Dragon still tugs at the heart, a reminder that childhood, like music, is fleeting but unforgettable. Number 15, Sugar Shack, Jimmy Gilmer and the Fireballs.
There's a crazy little shack beyond the tracks.
Every era has its quirks, and in 1963, one of them was a little tune about a coffee house. Sugar Shack, recorded by Jimmy Gilmer and the Fireballs, was lighthearted, bouncy, and utterly irresistible. With its quirky organ riff leading the way, it captured the playful side of early 60s pop.
Everybody calls it the Sugar Shack.
The lyrics painted a picture of young love, fueled by endless cups of coffee and a cozy hangout, a slice of everyday Americana that audiences adored. Released in the summer of 1963, the single climbed all the way to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, where it stayed for 5 weeks. Though the Fireballs never repeated the feat, Sugar Shack became the year's best-selling single. It was a song that didn't try to be cool or profound, just catchy, cheerful, and unforgettable, like a smile on a sunny afternoon.